What's up, everyone? It's Rohan from the Benchwarmers, and this is our NFL prediction series. We're going to take a few games from each week and analyze them before the actual game on Sunday. Before we get into this Week 4 matchup between the 49ers and the Seahawks, please consider liking and subscribing as we're currently on the road to 100 subs, and we'd greatly appreciate the support. With that said, let's get right into this matchup. Starting off with the 49ers, they are currently 2-1, and last week they lost in a nail-biter to the Packers. I think their defense played poorly, especially their secondary, since they let players like Devontae Adams come up with some huge grabs. Also, even players like Alan Lazard and MVS had some decent games. But I do think that the defense was dealing with a lot of injuries. But it still feels like every week they're signing some new washed veterans to the roster. Last week they signed Josh Norman, and a little bit before that they signed Drake Kirkpatrick. So they're having a bunch of new guys just joining the team and learning all the plays in 1 week and going on the field. It's not a great look, but I guess it's the best thing that they can do. Also, their offense looked pretty weak in the first half of the game, but I'm not too concerned about this since their offense has been pretty solid the whole season and it's looked pretty good. So I'm optimistic about how they'll play in a matchup versus the Seahawks. Now on to the Seahawks. They are currently 1-2, and last week they lost quite badly to the Vikings. They allowed over 450 yards of offense, and they're averaging 440 yards allowed on the season. This is one of the worst statistics in the whole league right now, since it's already very impressive if a team gets 300 yards of offense or 100 yards of rushing, and allowing 440 yards is not a good look. I think they have a lot of talent on their team, especially offensively with players like Russ, DK, and Lockett. Even on defense, they have players like Bobby Wagner, but I don't think that these guys are making the best of their opportunities. I think they have the ability to bounce back and make these really clutch, big-time plays, both offensively and defensively, but I'm feeling a little more confidently about their offense just because their offense has historically been good, while their defense has not been too good, especially in the past few years. I know last year they were the worst defense through the first 8 or so weeks, but after that they rebounded a bit, but I'm still not feeling too confident about their defense. Now on to my prediction. So to go over some narratives, I think this is a classic 49ers Seahawks rivalry. They're both these huge division rivals, and before the Cardinals and Rams emerged, the 49ers and Seahawks were the two really big teams in the NFC West, and the Seahawks have won 3 of the last 4 games, so it's going to be a high-stakes game for both teams. Also, I think this game will be a turning point because if the 49ers lose, I think a lot of people are going to say that they may have just gone lucky the first 2 games and they're not actually a playoff contender. But if the Seahawks lose, people are going to say that they're 1-3 and they seem like they'll miss the playoffs, especially because you don't see teams that are 1-3 making the playoffs. Now on to my actual prediction. I think that the 49ers will win 24-17. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, even though both defenses haven't been looking too good. I think that division rivalry games are just a different atmosphere and different intensity. So I think that it's going to be a lot more intense and focused, where the defense really balls out. I think the offense is going to be a lot more controlled. So I think, honestly, the 49ers are just the better team, in my opinion, which is why I think they're going to win. I think, like, for example, they can run the ball much better than the Seahawks can, and their D-line is much better. So I think it's a 40-60 in favor of the 49ers, but the Seahawks were also a really talented team, and it's a division rivalry game. So I think it's a 60-40 in terms of the 49ers, but I wouldn't be too surprised if the Seahawks win this one. And that wraps it up for this video. If you liked the video, please like, and if you didn't like, let us know why in the comments below. As I said at the beginning of the video, we're currently on the road to 100 subs, and we'd greatly appreciate it if you subscribed. This is Rohan from the Benchwarmer signing off. See ya.